Hello everybody. I was just thinking, doesn't my tile look a little bit sort of on its own without my board behind it? It's not gone missing, not to panic. It's just that it's downstairs in my box still and I'm upstairs, but that's okay because we've got a little bit of a nice, calm, serene sort of space to work in today. And you'll notice I've got a regular tile and I've also got a tiny tile on the top of it. So okay, let's see how it goes. You don't have to, I just think it's a bit nicer. And then afterwards we can perhaps raise it with a foam pad or something just to break it up a little bit, so it's not to worry. Oh, so all the serenity's disappeared because my little elf has brought me my board. Thank you. There we go. Back to normal, look. Nice board. Okay, so here we go for tile 176. What we're going to do today? Oh, I've got quite an exciting one going on today, actually. We'll see how we go with it. Regular pen, pencil tortillon. And of course, today I've got some pastel pencils because I thought it'd be kind of nice to bring a little bit of colour in. So are we ready for this? Okay, now all I've done with my tile, it's not fixed. It's literally just got a little bit of tape on there just because I'm going to position it somewhere. There we go. And then I can take it off afterwards, but it just means it's easier to draw with at the time. Okay? So, straight in with pen. And I'm just going to use a tile here because what I want to do is put a bit of a border in. And of course, if that goes over my tiny tile, that's not a problem. But we're just going to treat that as though it's, it's just part of the furniture, so to speak. And speaking of tiles, we're on a bit of a deadline for book 6. Now, I know that we do a gallery in the back. If there is anybody out there that wants to put one of their tiles into book 6, and now it has to be from tile 80 to 100, then what you're going to have to do is email it to me. Now, as best the quality you can. Plan view. When I say plan view, it's like this, so it's full on square. So it's not sort of at an angle or anything around it. It's just plan view like that, as best quality as you can. And get that to me on email, which I'll post my email after I've done this. But anybody that doesn't know, it's Sandra at sandrarushton.co.uk. And if it's not with me between now and Monday at about 4 o'clock, then it can't go in. So, oh, thank you, Leslie. 81 to 100. It's been that kind of a week. It's a good job I've got my elf in the building. Okay, so here we go. I've got my bit of a border. I'm just going to make it a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. Now, you just be careful with it because, as you see, I've got the 2 sort of rows there. So I think I'm going to start around here. And I'm going to come on in. And, or shall I do it this way? No, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to start by creating a bit of a swirl. Now, it's a little bit wider than a swirl we would normally do. Okay. There we are. So stop if you feel that you need to. You don't have to draw it all around completely all at once. Just a little bit of fun, okay? Right, and around we go. Just sort of following it through, and then I'm going to sort of kick off from here and go towards the edge of my tile. Okay? Alright, so let's add a little bit of a bubble in the middle here. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to add in another line. See there? Let's do another one. See, I've just sort of reinforced that a little bit. So I'm going to come to this side and I'm going to do that again. One there, look. One there. See, going across the tiny tile. There we go. Turning it again. Let's do another. There we are. It's almost like I'm breaking the sections up. But and they're giving me something a little different. Creating these little curved lines. Same here. Alright. again. I'm just turning it each time. There we go. Not worried about whether it's the same size, it doesn't matter. See there? I'm just going to make sure that that follows through. And again. Alright. I'll get a few more in maybe. Let's do one here. Now I noticed that some of you kept up with me in the last tile swap. Not tile swap, sorry, tile challenge. So hopefully you'll keep up with me with this one today. That'd be nice. Just going to do a few that way just to sort of finish it. You see? There we are. And down we go. That's nice. I like that one. So I'm just going to, where I've got, let's go a bit larger. So where I've got the wider spaces, I'm just going to add a bit of a curve in. See? And then I'm going to fill in those gaps. So there's another one. Doesn't matter where you start this, as long as you follow it through on one side to the other. Same there. Okay. All right, and then there's one here. And filling that one in. Sort of taking that down to almost nothing, filling this one in. There we are. And around to the next one. There we go. Just adding that in there. And then another one. And you don't have to fill it in with the black if you don't want to. But as we know, I'm going to put some colour on it in a little while, so having that bit of black in there really makes a difference. Okay. Again. Oh, here, that's nice. We've got a bit of sunshine in here. I did actually move my seats because I think it was a bit too bright where we were and I didn't want to affect what we were drawing. I am still in my classroom, but I have got quite a few seats to choose from. I could do one a week, couldn't I? And do all right still. A different perspective from each side of the room. I now promise to put more classes on, and I will do that. I'll get there. It's just you know, you suddenly decide that you're gonna write another book, and it takes a little bit of time. So as soon as that's done, we'll be back on track. Okay. Yeah, it is lovely, isn't it? Did you hear Daniel Craig on the radio this morning? He's going to put a line in the middle there. See? Yes, he was on with Zoe Ball this morning. We're out and about at that point. I was in the car. There we are. See, just on those ones where we've got that extra sort of thickness. Okay. Kathy, it's 81 to 100. I know, it seems so long ago. That was last year. All right, there's one. So I'm going to do another. It's going to start sort of here, I think. And again, I'm going to keep it quite wide. And just sort of follow it around. Just now, when you're doing this, just sort of relax your hand a little bit. And don't be afraid to sort of stop and start it if you need to. Right, so sort of turn it round to give you a bit of a helping hand. Now I'm drawing from the inside out. You might decide that you want to do it the other way, and there we go. Start outside and come in. There we go. Another one. Let's go a little bit larger now. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. So I'm going to come in with a row of bubbles. Just sort of follow that curl around. Now we've said this a couple of times this last few tiles that, you know, give these a little bit of respect, because if you start going a little bit too quick with them, then they start getting a bit squished, and we don't want that. We want bubbles, don't we? Not ovals. There we are. Okay. Oh, Kathy, it's just practice. It really is. I think sometimes we worry too much about it. If you just go for it, even if you go in with a pencil first and just draw it without thinking, you'll probably find it's easier than trying to focus on it. That's my words of wisdom on how to draw a swirl. Oh, Louise, I'm glad they're arriving. We do our best. I do apologise if there's anything missing. Again, we do our best. If there is, honestly, just let me know. You know, on occasion we will miss things, but we'll sort it. Of course, sometimes, you know, Hermes parcels don't stay closed, and that has a bit of an issue as well. So, hopefully they're all getting to where they need to be. There we go. Rosie, no, that's fine. I don't mind you message me. I do apologise if I've been a bit quiet. I say, if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, and we'll never get the next product finished, and it does take a while. So I will get round to all your messages. I'm just a little bit incognito at the minute. There we are. Okay. Just follow it round. Nothing else in the world matters, just these little bubbles. Besides, I bet you're all now going to be busy this weekend watercolouring and drawing feathers and birds and all sorts of things now they've all arrived. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see what you're going to come out with. Okay, so let's split this up a little bit. Let's put a couple of triangles in there. You see, a couple of triangles. Another one there. And then let's fill it round with these lovely triangles. Okay. Now again, doesn't matter about the size, just sort of keep it flowing. Work your way round. My husband's allergic to me. Well, that is trying to sneak another chocolate in. I know him so well. Now see this one, it's going to go up here, so it's going behind. So it's going to sort of look a little bit different there. And just sort of follow it round. Now when we get to the end, we could actually complete this and keep it going. But I think what would be quite... I know, Leslie, I think he's got them hidden up here. We've had a new machine in today, and somebody sent chocolates with it. He said they'd come, but nobody's seen them. You know, when they pretend they can't hear and they really can. I think he's doing that. Okay, let's go a little bit larger. And in this little shape here, I'm going to start, I think I'll start with one further out because it's probably going to be a bit easier to see. And I'm going to, you know, add my little sort of teardroppy shapes in there. There we are, just sort of fill in the gaps that we need to. So I'll do the same on this one. See how it's on the outer one where the bubbles have been drawn. Over here. So if I sort of follow that round. See, always starting in the middle and then putting one either side. Let's just neaten that up a little bit. There we go. Same on here. Now this particular tile today would make a fabulous larger piece. So if you feel like you want to go a little bit bigger, or maybe even put 4 tiles together, yes, maybe that's something we could look at. There we go. Now it's give a larger piece. It's something that could be like a weekend project. You know, you could perhaps bring in a few different media, maybe a bit of watercolour, pencil over the top, and a little bit of gel pen in places. There we are. For now, we're just doing almost a miniature version. Just enough for this afternoon. Right. So you just take your time colouring those little bits in. It makes all the difference. And in along. There we go. Just adding in those little coloured areas. Just working my way around that little swirl. So this one, I suppose it's a little bit more organic. It's not as structured as the one we did on Wednesday, but it's still got structure because we've got sides and edges to work to. So just because we've got something you think, oh, structure, it doesn't mean it's always going to be a grid. It just means that somewhere to work. Okay. So working sort of around and again, just pretending that that tiny tile's not there anymore. Just working it as though it's all one complete tile. That's all it needs. There we go, just filling it in. And as I say, you know, you can take your time a bit, you don't need to keep up with me. It's just, I want to get this done within the time that I've got within that frame, because then you can fast forward and pause and mute if you like, whatever you want to do at your own leisure. But then at least we've got the whole tile in, haven't we? And it's not sort of part one and we've got to finish it another day. There we go. There's quite a lot of tangling on this one, but they're not too crazy complicated, or I don't think so anyway. Okay. Just enlarging those swirls a little bit. There we are. So just finishing it off around that top edge. Tiny one there. Alright, so I'm going to come back out to the centre, and you see I've still got one here to do. It's just sometimes if the centre looks a little bit complicated, work on the others first. You see, I could leave that one, but I think I'm just going to come in and do that one as well. That's it, you know, that's a decision you make, but once you're used to the design or the particular tangle, and you think, yeah, I'm gonna do it my way. Just no mistakes, nothing that's gonna be right or wrong, so it's fine. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we go. All right. I think the pieces that are left, let's just fill it with some lines. I'm just going to put a line in straight to the centre, and then I'm going to add some lines this side and then this side. All right, centre, and then work one side and then the next. Same here. See, we're imagining that the point is there. Our brain now imagines that, and it sees that it's going underneath, so that's fine. And then just continuing. I see here, I'm just going to fill that one in. I'm not going to do these ones, but I'm going to come in and do these ones now further inside the swirl there. It's always working from the centre. It does, Denise, yeah, it does. I think that's because, I don't know, maybe that's why it ended up that way. We've all got James Bond on our minds. His new film's out soon. Can't wait for that. you see, I'm doing it this way because it's easy to step off that tiny tile than on. And it gives it a more flowing line. Okay, so let's just do these in the middle here. Now I find if you try and sort of work without a system, you could end up missing one. So let's follow it through. There we go. See, that's not the last one, I think it is. There we go. So we've got a couple going on there. Okay, let's do another. So I'm going to do one here. I'm going to do yeah, one sort of starting here, a little bit smaller this time, I think. So see, I've not gone as wide as this one. But because it depends on your space and what you've got going on there. All right, now you see, if I feel I need to stop, just sort of let it go and then carry it on. And of course, it's all going to be part of the same design anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to bring that one out to sort of finish there. Okay. Let's do a little aura. So let's sort of thicken that line up, you see, and just add an extra row. Alright, again, just sort of take your time. Looking from one bit to the next. There we are. Just following it round. There's no pressure, there's no rush to get it all at the same time. Perfect anyway. And of course yours is going to be so different now. Yours might be larger or smaller. There we go. And of course that bit. Okay. So I'm going to just now draw a bubble in there. And then another one there. And another one. So just be careful over that little tile. See, that's sorted now. Over there. And just sort of keep filling them in. See that one? Just going to go slightly over. There we go. Just working it out. So just sort of filling the space that I've got there. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly right, or it's not perfect circle, it's not going to happen. So let's just enjoy creating those shapes. And I think they're all slightly different. They're all like different characters, haven't they? And I think that's what makes it a little bit more interesting. It's creating these wonderful shapes. Alright, so see, it's getting a little bit larger because the space that I've got to fill is a little bit larger. I'm just sort of imagining where it's going to sit underneath there. There we go. So now here I'm coming towards the end of one again. Now I've got a choice here. I can create smaller ones, or I can fill the whole space. I think I'm going to choose to go a little bit smaller with each one. And I could use that space for something else. There we go. Okay. Now these little gaps, let's go on in and add in another bubble. There we are. All the way around. And again, I'm going around a couple of times just to sort of give them a bit more definition. Just sort of refines them. And I think I'll do the same on the other side. There we are. It's a difference it makes, doesn't it? Just going back over it with a pen a couple of times rather than just the once. There we are. And then, of course, any of those gaps, let's just fill in with a bit of ink. Almost there. That's it. Okay. Getting that little bit of drama in there. We're just working our way around it. And of course you could have added more bubbles in if you wanted to here, or you could do lines, you could just fill the gaps, you could leave the gaps if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter, it's your tile. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You see, there's not much more to do there, just a little bit there. So I'm just going to imagine where that's going to be. It's kind of small, so there we go. Alright. Oh, no, that's okay, Nadia. You take your time. It's not a problem. It's, as long as you've got something in there, you know, even if it's just the sketch. I mean, you could actually fill this in with any tangle you like. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so again, coming in with another little spiral here. There we go. Now I'm going to come in with a thicker pen, I think, at this point. So what I want to do here is I'm going to create some little stripes. So I'm just going to bring in a thicker pen, you see? Just say straight across that tile as before. And then along this next one. To this one. Gosh, that's gone quick. It's tea time already. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
There we go. And just keep it going. And of course, you could do this in a different colour. We've all got fine liners now that are various colours and thicknesses. So, I'm working on my own set at the minute. Oh, did I just spill the beans there? There we are. It's amazing, isn't it, what you start talking about? But we're amongst friends, so that's okay. There we are. See, they're getting a little bit thicker as I go further out. I still want to leave some space in between them. Okay. And just, of course we could have inked this tile before we started as well, couldn't we? That would have given it some colour. Just going to sort of work my way along now. I want a nice neat edge. There we are. And then just sort of continue round. Okay, into this one. Okay, just take your time with it. Or even if you think, oh, you know, I'm going to just sort of draw it and fill it in later, you can do that too. There we are. So just fill that in. There we go. So back to my regular pen. Let's go a bit larger. There we are. I'm just going to bring in, see, I can just neaten up the edges if I need to. See there, let's just neaten it up. And I'm going to add a line either side of those thick lines. See, even there. Again, if you feel that you need to neaten it up a little bit, by all means, just come on in and see there, this needs those corners added in. There we are. Okay. Same either side. And of course, one there and one there. So we've had a few tile swaps in for number 9 already, which is brilliant. I'm going to try and get to that this next week. Get my tile done. So I know if you asked about who got tiles and things, I can sort that out. I'm just a little bit behind with messages and things. I don't know. I don't even know who got mine. It's not been posted, but that's okay, because, you know, you just do it as a fun thing. It's nice to sort of give a little bit, isn't So see, still doing the same thing, look in the middle. Neaten that up, look, and then I'm just going to add one there, okay? I think in the centre here, I'm just going to add a little triangle there. I'm going to do that on both sides. You know, if you can do it, that's great. If you can't, just work it on one side or add a different shape in, it's fine. So there, it's going to be quite thin. I can do one there. It's quite a graphic one, this, isn't it? A lot of black. Okay, we're definitely going to need that white pencil today, or pastel pencil, whichever you've got. I'll just work it round, just follow the shape, turn in your tile. There we are, so just see, that's what happens when you don't turn your tile, is you end up with the wrong shape. But that's okay. I was getting carried away then, drawing a shape where I hadn't turned my tile. And there's that muscle memory kicking in. You think it's just saying, okay, I'm going to draw this, but when you're not in place. We'll sort it though. It's into there. I'm only going to get sort of those. Maybe get one in there. There we go. Okay. Oh, Hayley, that sounds too organised, making charts. Goodness me. So it's quite fun though, isn't it? I've got my tiles in order now. They are actually in order, of course. And of course, the books help keep an eye on which ones have gone where and when. So, okay, I'm going to do one here, but I'm going to pretend it's, I'm going to start it here, so it's sort of quite going behind that border there. So it's going to get a little bit wider each time there. Okay. And then, yeah, I'm going to add another row. So it goes along there, look, and then it's going to sort of just go behind that one. Okay. So let's have a look at this one then. What if we were to, I'm going to start in a space that I've got some freedom to work, and I'm going to just add in a little square there. You see, let's go a little bit larger. But I'm just going to add in thicker line on two sides. Oh, 3D already. Let's do another. There we go. And again, same two sides. Doesn't matter which two sides. But once you've decided, then make sure you stick with it. All right, we'll do two here. There we go. And then, of course, just sort of now follow that through, and again, thicken the two sides. Oh, like that. So you're going to get a bit of one there. Make it look as though it's going all the way around. Okay. I think I'm not going to do the same on all sides there. I'm just going to add a little bit of a scalloped edge in here. See, just because you've done a swirl doesn't mean you have to keep the design the same. And, again, I'm just going to sort of aura that. There we go. So, I'm just sort of add in some lines across the top there. Oh, Vicky, that's just wow. My goodness me. That is organised. Yeah, there we go. You see we've got a bit of a difference there. And I think this row, let's just add a bit of faux stitch on both sides. There we go. And then there's sort of a little centre bit here. Let's just sort of aura that shape a few times. Just to sort of take in that space. There we go. Let's have a look at the tile. See, it's sort of starting to come together now, isn't it? So let's have a look which is, I'm going to use this gap as space here. I'm just going to bring one in here. See, it's almost like, imagine it going around in this section here. But you're only going to see just a small element of it, just a little bit. And then let's just bring in these little curves. So, you know, it's still giving that impression that it's going all the way around. And let's just add a thin line just next to each one. There we go. And then this one I'm just going to add in some diagonal lines. And the same on this one. And then I'm going to choose one here. Okay. And then maybe even this one. It looks as though it's sort of working its way around there. And then I'm going to do them this way for this one. There we are. And of course that's going to continue along there and into that one. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of weight just to either side of those original lines there. There we are. See the difference that makes? And the same across there. Okay, so we've got quite a few going on there. We could keep going, but I think it's possibly as many as I want to add in there, because we've got a couple of little areas to add some flourishes into. So what if we bring in some bubbles? See, I've not gone too small there, I've gone quite a nice size. It's sort of fading off as they go up there. Go a little closer in. Of course, any gaps, let's just fill them in. Pretend there's another one. There we go. I think a few on this side. Okay. So just sort of find any little areas that you think you've got some space. You can go in and do this. I might even put a couple in here. Like, I know it's not a gap, but let's put a few in. And of course, sort of here. There we go. And there we are. Just sort of add in a few. Any gaps. So of course then we've got a various amount of different flourishes we can use. I think I'm going to come in and add that sort of little droplet shape, just a curve, and add a little bit of a droplet on the end. Go even smaller, see? And so I might even, I'm going to sneak one in here. There we go. Maybe go behind there. And then maybe one or two in here. And, see, it's sort of tempting to do it there, but I think I'm going to bring it out here. There we go. Make that a bit more shaped. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay. So at that point, I'm going to put the pen down. I'm going to come in with a bit of pencil. Now, if you want to use a regular pencil, go ahead. That's absolutely fine. But I did say we're going to use pastels today. So I'm going to use the pastels exactly the same way I would use a pencil. And add some just where, I want the tortillon to go later. So let's go back to this first one and let's give that a little bit of a smirk there, look. Okay. And then at the base of each of these little shapes, now I'm missing one, you see. I'm doing the shapes that have got the little lines in, but you could do either, you could do all if you want. I'm just going to add in those little bits there. Okay, so all the way through, even on those ones. And then I'm going to do the same across the top there. Just a little bit, so it's not as much as before. Oh, there you go. Just a little bit, see? And then I'm going to come in with my, I'm going to use my yellow. And I'm going to, oh, what's it going to do? Just missed that one there. There we are. And I'm going to do the same, but with the spaces in between. I think I'm going to have quite a brightly coloured tile today. I'm going to get through as many colours as I can. There we are. Okay. So then let's put those to one side for a minute. And I'm going to come in with one of my blues and then work on this section. Now this time I'm going to follow the shape of the swirl. I'm just going to hold that in place for a minute. So you see, just working my way round that swirl there. Okay, I'm not putting a massive amount on, it's just sort of going around the edge and along. So I'm just following the bubbles. And then I'm going to do, oh Ruth, maybe I have, maybe that's nice, maybe I've missed it. I apologise to whoever posted it. I did say I've not been on social media as much this week because, but that's nice. It's nice to know. So I'm even working, look, on the outside edge. There we are. All right. So let's put that down and let's come in with another colour. I think I'm going to go in with the purple. And again, I'm just gonna hold that a little bit. I want to put a little bit of this colour either side of the original swirl line. There we are. Okay. So now it's all beginning to look a little bit of a mess. We've got all these swirls going on, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to use that same purple down here, I think. And just as before, I'm just going to add some either side, see if those lines. There we go. Oh, just bring in a bit of green. So the green, I'm going to look at these bubbles and I'm going to add that sort of little smirk onto all of them. So the smaller ones don't need that much. Just sort of follow it round. Okay. And a bit of, let's have a look, a bit of a goldy colour. And just going to bring in some of that on the inside of those there. Okay. Let's get to work with a tortillon or two, I think. Let's see where we're at with this. Okay. So if you only got one or two tortillons, not a problem. Then you just need a file because you need to file off your tortillons as you're going. But start with your lightest colour, which in my case is this yellow, and I'm just going to soften the edges just like I would with a regular pencil, just along each. Here we go, see? I know it's got a little bit of red mixing with it, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to work with the next colour up, which is that golden sort of yellowy colour. Just add that in. And then here I'm just going to add a little bit of softness, but I don't want to go inside those lines. And then oh, that's a good idea, Louise. Yeah, I mean, it's great if you can, and then you know that each colour is going to be nice and clean. See this one now, if I went back in, look, with my yellow, it give me a little bit of that old yellow with it. So it's important, if you can, that you can mix, you know, you either clean them off between each one or use a different tortillon. There we are, so same in the red. But it's whatever you've got to hand, isn't it? There we go. Oh, Julie, no, don't blow yet. Don't blow. You might come back and need it, see? And then, of course, if you blow it and it goes across one of your other pieces that you've not blended out yet, you're going to end up with a multicolour. Which is fine if you want to mix colours, but you mix too many, you'll end up with brown every time. We don't want that. And see here, I missed here, adding that colour on the ends, look. There we go. There we are. Problem solved. Just see, I'm trying to keep that little white highlight in the middle, as we always do. I've got plenty on my tortillon for that bit. There we are. And that bit. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to swap tortillons. I'm going to come in with a new one here. I'm going to start with the green here. And these are just working my way around, so just giving them a little bit of a shade out there. There we go. Just sort of follow the curve of the bubble. And you don't want to fill the whole shape. You want to leave some of the original tile colour there. Alright, see little bits there. It's a little less as you go around. One there, see, and a little bit there. Okay, that's nice. You see here, look, I've got green. If I was to mix that now with this purple, it's going to go a little bit brown. I don't want that. So I'm going to do the blue first. And I can use the same tortillon. So I'm just going to work my way around in little swirls. And again, I'm not wanting to go all the way to the inside, just softening the line up. Okay, just continue it on as I go around. Okay, same here, look. All the way along. And then back again. Just sort of working my way around. Let's start here. You can come back. I'm going to go from the middle outwards again. There we are. Just taking my time. There we go. See, it's starting to get a little bit of 3D. You want a little bit more work yet, but we're getting there. I think sometimes it's nice with pastels in particular that you build up as you go, rather than try and do it all in one go. Of course, we're going to get a chance for one round during the live, but it means you can do another layer. And if you put a little bit of fixative in between each layer, that works quite nicely because it'll hold what you've done in place and add another layer. So I've still not done any blowing of that pastel yet. There we go. Just keep it going. Alright, just trying to leave that gap in the middle if you can. There we go, just taking my time. Alright, liking that. And then of course we've got this purple one here. And again, I'm just going to gently sort of work it round. Just giving it a little bit of movement. Okay. Now I can blow it. Alright, let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so we've got some colour in there, but it now needs a little bit of shadow and shade, doesn't it? So we can come in with our regular pencil. We can use a black pastel. I'm going to start with my regular pencil. And you see where one actually goes over? Yes, you can, Louise, yeah. Put a little bit more spray on. Fix it and then go over again. So you see here, I'm just going to add some pencil around the sides that sort of overlap with another. Might as well go all the way over there, you see? And then of course tortillon. Now use your graphite tortillon for this. So you're just going to come on in and just very gently soften that line off. There you go. Okay, so it's just giving that a little bit of lift, sort of away from the others that are underneath it. Okay, that's better. And then see this one, a little bit of pencil underneath this one. I'm going to take it round to about there. Okay, and again soften it off. Don't worry about what's underneath it. This is just giving it a little bit of shadow. Okay. All right. So then we have another, do we? Not really, because this one sees underneath these two. But see here, this one goes over this one. So let's just add some pencil in there. And then just as before, soften it off a little bit. There we go. So you see, now that looks like it's on top of that one. That's what we're after. So we've got another one here. Rose, yeah, I would. I'd use a tortillon. You can get different sized ones. If you've got a really large area, you can get larger tortillons that will cover it a little bit quicker. There we go. See, just bring that round. You see how that one now gives the impression that it's over that one? That's what we're after. Okay. So, just because we can, I'm just going to add a little bit of pencil around the lines, you know, the original lines that we drew here. Just on the inside of it there. And then back in. Now I'm going in with the tortillon each time because we're working into separate sections and I don't want to lose track of where I am. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little bit, sort of switch it to either side. You see, either side of the line. Not just going over the top of there, see? A little sort of zigzag movements and then you can soften it round that way. Okay. I know. They do easily come across as tortillas if you're not careful, if you've got predictive spelling on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to use my pencil again and I'm going to draw in or add some pencil, see, just to the sides. I'm going to, again, same way I put the blue originally, but I'm just going to stay within the spiral this time. You see, so sort of both sides of those bubbles, just as before. You see how we've got the colour underneath, so we've still got that blue, but now we've got that shade on the top. So in we go with tortillon, and just work it round. See, just nice and gentle, because we've already applied colour there, it's just sort of going to go round quite easily, so we don't really need to do that much work to it to get something that's going to start to look a bit three-dimensional there. There we go, that's what we want, keeping that centre bit clear of any graphite. Okay, so let's have a look at the other two. We're going to work in a similar way. We're going to just add the pencil just over the top of what we've already done. See, I'm just taking care that I'm not going inside that spiral there. That little bit of white at the tile is just sort of giving me a little bit of a difference. Okay, so I can bounce the darks and lights off each other there. Okay, same on this one. There's quite a bit of pencil and tortillon work today, but I think sometimes it's nice to go back and do that, so we don't always. Okay, oh, Rose, you can do it on whatever you like. Whatever you like. So if you want to slightly change it up as well, you can do that, that's fine. As long as I get as best a quality photograph as you can do for me, because it's got to be clear. If it's not very clear, see, I can't put them in the book very big. I have to do them really small. So best you can. You see, I'm just sort of added a little bit on one of the sides. Working my way around. And of course, think a bit of pencil just on these larger bubbles, if you've got any. Just sort of soften them round. Don't need much work on them. They're sort of window dressing for the main event. And okay, let's bring the black in. Now the black, I'm not going to use a massive amount, but it's just sort of where you want real sort of standout bits to be. I'm just going to redefine, see that centre bit there. Maybe a bit round there. See, it just doesn't, we don't want to sort of do it everywhere. Just sort of where it redefines that shadow, you see, between the two. I think I'm going to add a little bit top and bottom there, you see. And then of course here we've got a little bit of shadow, just sort of clarifies it a bit. It just emphasises it over that pencil. And then I think maybe just a tad there and a bit round there. Okay, so I'm not using a massive amount, just a little bit. And then of course that's coming in with the white. So I'm using the white pastel, or you can use the white chalk pencil as well. And of course let's just find those centres of each of those swirls, and then just come on in and draw that white. Okay, you might see it better on this one. See what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go all the way around the centre of those swirls, adding that white. Okay, you'll straight on this one. See, I'm going straight over those black shapes that we've created there. I'm not going to blend this out, so don't worry about that. Straight round. See? Nadia, it's going to be fine. Okay, now here I'm going to leave, because that's sort of you're looking through into the rest of the tile. But again, even though we've got lovely little bubbles there, I'm still going to do that little line. And of course, a bit there. Okay. And we can blow it. Alright. So, see where I've actually gone slightly over this here with a bit of pastel. I'm just going to soften it out. So that's got a bit of pencil on too. That's fine. Just sort of fade it off. Same with the blue there. Okay. So last thing I really want to do is I'm just going to remove this little tile just for a minute. Look at that. It looks quite bare now, doesn't it? There it is. And I'm just going to choose a colour. I think I'm going to go with the red. And I'm going to just add some around the edge. Okay, going straight over everything else. Now you could do this with black or any other colour, it really doesn't matter. Okay, again finding my tortillon that I used, you know, with the red on it. I'm just going to soften the edges. Oh, there you go. Just sort of smooth it out a little bit. And of course, if you were doing this on a card or something, you know, in a journal, you could use a little, you know, just a thin pad, foam pad that would just sort of stand this off a little bit, or you can just leave it with a bit of tape and keep it flat. It's just a little bit of fun, you know, to do something a bit different. It's quite a nice tile in its own right, isn't it? And there we go, a bit of red in there. Okay, so let's put this back in place now. Now, of course, we can sort of see where it is because we've got lots of different colours going on. There we go. But what we've actually created is something that's got a little bit of a shadow, so we've definitely got a difference there now. I think last thing to do, really, I'm just going to clean that off, is I'm going to go around the outside of this one. Again, you can go outside or inside. I'm just going to give it a bit of graphite. Haley, I just used a little bit of low tack tape, you know, just rolled it back on itself so it was sticky on both sides and taped it on. And of course, I think what I'll probably do is get myself, I've got some thin foam pads and just, I'll put a foam pad under it so it's raised a little bit, and then stick it back in place later. It's just so I could draw it easily by having it taped down. I mean, a bit of blue tack could do the job as well. Just something that would hold it in place just for a little while. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. Of course, if you wanted to draw this on a single tile, you could then come on in and draw a square shape, you know, a round section of it that you liked, and then add the pastels to it and make it look as though it was lifted. That means you can choose the bit you want then, if you want to, but it's nice doing it this way. You know, you just get a different version, don't you? Of course, because I've used the red, you might decide that you want to use a bit of black maybe, depends how it's going to sort of stand off. So let's have a look. All right, okay, it's not too bad, is it that? Again, it does look like it's part of, and so with a little bit of 3 dimensions, it looked kind of nice. Might just add a touch of whatever I've got left on my tortilla. You know where we did those thick lines there, just to give it a bit of shade. There we go. And I think that is probably, oh no, maybe, hang on. I think just a little bit more black in there. See, just on those curves there. Sort of both sides, I think just gives it that little edge. And there we go. So it's a swirl, but once you've tangled into the swirl, it's a little bit crazy on where it could go and where it leads. So I think the only thing left to do now, give that a little bit of a signature. There we go. I'm going to do it here today. I've got a bit of space. So have a go at this one. Maybe you want to do it on a larger piece, and maybe this is a full-size tile, or maybe you want to work a little bit smaller and just do it on the one. But yeah, if you've got a weekend free, then a weekend bigger piece would look kind of cool with this, don't you think? There's so much more detail you could get in there. But yeah, whatever you want to do with it. So have a little bit of fun with it. I say, if you want to get one of your tiles in the gallery, it's number 81 to 100. And please do a plan view of it, so it's exactly like this, completely full-on plan view, as square as you can get it, as best quality, and send it to sandra@sandrarushton.co.uk, and it has to be with me by 4 o'clock on Monday, and then we'll get it into book 6 for you. So, okay, have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy, stay safe, and I will see you back here again on Wednesday. So have fun and yeah, go for it. Okay, you take care, everybody. Bye.